The term hamartia derives from the Greek a 1/4 I 1/4 I plus or minus I plus or minus, from a 1/4 I 1/4 I plus or minus I 1/2 I micron I to the first I 1/2 ἁμαρτάνειν, which means a oeto miss the mark, a or a oeto error. It is most often associated with Greek tragedy, although it is also used in Christian theology. Hamartia in Aristotle unregistered trademark s poetics. Hamartia is first described in the subject of literary criticism by Aristotle in his Poetics. The term hamartia appears once in Poetics, but scholars throughout the ages have continued to discuss the meaning and usage of the term. The source of the concept of hamartia is at the juncture between character and the character's actions or behaviors as outlined by Aristotle. Below is a quote from Poetics defining character. Character in a play is that which reveals the moral purpose of the agents, that is the sort of thing they seek or avoid. Here Aristotle distinguishes between plot and character in thought. The subject represented also is an action. And the action involves agents, who must necessarily have their distinctive qualities both of character and thought, since it is from these that we ascribe certain qualities to their actions. There are in the natural order of things, therefore, two causes, character and thought, of their actions, and consequently of their success or failure in their lives. Now the action is represented in the play by the fable or plot. The fable, in our present sense of the term, is simply this, the combination of the incidents, or things done in the story. Whereas character is what makes us ascribe certain moral qualities to the agents. Hamartia is the inner quality of a protagonist that initiates a movement of spirit within him/her to commit actions which drive the plot towards a tragic end, inspiring in the audience a build of pity and fear leading to a cathartic release. Hamartia in Christian theology. Hamartia is also used in Christian theology. The literal Greek meaning to miss the mark is applied as a fall from the godly, or sin. In his writings, Paul the Apostle describes three usages for the term a cubed hamartia cubed. The term is employed in one sense to mean acts of sin themselves. It is also used in reference to man's sinful condition, or original sin. The third application concerns the weakness of the flesh, and the free will to either resist or commit sinful acts. Tragic error or tragic flaw. Scholars continue to debate nuance of the definition of hamartia. The debate centers around two interpretations, tragic error and tragic flaw. Gravitation along the spectrum towards one meaning or the other depends partly upon the prevailing aesthetic during the time of the debate. Aristotle's description of the term, translated by S. H. Butcher as an error of judgment, allows room for interpretations that include a mistake of fact, a tendency towards certain mistakes because of moral weakness, or a combination of the two in varying degrees. Whether the character can inspire pity and fear provides goalposts for the degree of tragic flaw present in the tragic error. Only the best tragedy is so composed as to arouse pity and terror. Firstly, it is clear that morally good men must not be shown passing from good fortune to bad. This does not arouse pity or fear but is repulsive. Nor must a morally vicious man be shown passing from bad fortune to good, for this does not satisfy our human feeling, nor does it arouse pity or fear. Nor again must the very crooked man be shown falling from good fortune into bad. This arrangement would satisfy human feeling but would not arouse pity or fear. For pity is concerned with unmerited misfortune, fear with a character like ourselves. There remains the intermediate kind of character, not preeminent in moral excellence, nor falling into misfortune through vice and depravity, but through some error of judgment. Major examples of hamartia in literature, see also, catharsis, tragic hero, victory disease, hamartiology, notes. References, Bramer, J.M. Hamartia. Tragic error in the Poetics of Aristotle and in Greek tragedy. Amsterdam, Adolf M. Hackett, 1969. Dorr, R.D. Some Reflections on 8 and Hamartia. Harvard Studies in Classical Philology 72, 89-123. JSTOR St. Louis University Library, St. Louis. April 29, 2008. Hyde, Isabel. The Tragic Flaw, Is It a Tragic Error? The Modern Language Review 58.3 321-325. JSTOR St. Louis University Library, St. Louis. April 29, 2008. Moles, J.L. Aristotle and Ido's Hamartia Greece and Rome, 2nd Series 31.148-54. JSTOR St. Louis University Library, St. Louis. April 29, 2008. Stinton, T.C.W. Hamartia in Aristotle and Greek Tragedy, The Classical Quarterly, New Series, Volume 25, Number 2, 221-254. JSTOR St. Louis University, St. Louis. April 29, 2008. Golden, Leon, Hamartia, 8, and Oedipus, Classical World, Volume 72, Number 1, ppA 3-12. Hugh Lloyd-Jones, The Justice of Zeus, University of California Press, 1971, pages 212.